I love that Sid's on here tonight because he can talk about this. One thing I know is the power guys, when they're getting taking storms seriously, it's a big deal. Duke Power estimates 1 million outages in North Carolina. They're not doing that just for the heck of it. They know their system better than anybody. So they are preparing for 1 million outages. And to put that in perspective, Hugo, 700,000 outages here. Hurricane Matthew, 1.5. Florence, 1.4. But the 2002 December ice storm, 1.8 million outages here, which is still our biggest outage storm of all time and was my first week in Charlotte, North Carolina. So I remember it well. I had power because I was in a hotel with a generator and everybody at my station didn't have power in their homes. So these ice storms are the real deal.
And so, Brad, like you were talking about, is really that Interstate 40 corridor and north that's expecting to see, the possibility of seeing the worst icing conditions in the Charlotte area. Also, as you know, as we all know, it's been pretty wet around here. I mean, we had 3-4 inches of rain over the last week from just wave after wave of precipitation moving in. You go back to last year, wettest year on record for some locations like Hickory and Morganton, Lenoir, places like that. So even if we don't see the half an inch, 3/4 of an inch of ice, a quarter or a fourth of an inch of ice, a quarter of an inch of ice could still cause some issues with trees and power lines just because of saturated soil.
Yeah, we have a little bit of it's not a true barrier jet that develops tomorrow, which is a northeast wind against the mountains. It sometimes pulls in the cold air, but there's gusts about 30-35 miles per hour out of the northeast tomorrow morning at the same time the heavy precip moves in. So I even think in Charlotte, we may get a glaze to a 10th, but just a little bit of ice with a 30-mile-an-hour wind and wet soil, probably going to bring trees down. And the one thing about Charlotte, I tell you, we get a slight breeze here. We get trees falling all the time. We have so many big trees here. It takes very little to bring our trees down. So I agree, Scotty. I think it may not take as much ice with these other factors. And that's often the case in a lot of these winter storms. I think we focus sometimes on one factor. It's usually a combination. It's a pile-on effect of 2 or 3 things that contribute to this. And I think that's what we'll have to watch out for tomorrow, because I think that wind and wet soil is something not to discount, because it certainly could have a big impact on some of these trees.